So today we're driving a 2003 Honda Accord LX model, and this has the wonderful 2.4 liter VTEC motor that produces 160 horsepower and 161 pound-feet of torque. Just a terrific vehicle to get from point A to point B. The fit and finish for a 12-year-old vehicle, I mean, there's no squeaking, there's no rattling. When you close the door, you get that very crisp sound. I think many of you know exactly what I mean. It's a very high quality type of vehicle that you really don't expect being at 12 years old, but just it's lasted so well throughout the years. Now let's quickly go over the two motor options for this vehicle. Option one again is what we have here, 2.4 liter VTEC. The other option is we have a 6-cylinder. Now of course the 6-cylinder you're running at 240 horsepower. However, I do recommend the 4-cylinder. There has a timing chain as opposed to a timing belt. Now think about that, because many of you may own a vehicle with a timing belt, or if you owned a vehicle with a timing belt and you know the cost associated when it comes time to replacing it. And if you don't replace it, they do snap eventually, and the cost to repair the motor damage is quite extensive once you damage the valves and the pistons and everything else. So the fact that the 4-cylinder has a timing chain, it's just another notch in a bulletproof engine, and I just recommend the 4-cylinder. I just know these VTECs, they're excellent motors. Now the transmission we have here is very, very nice. It upshifts and downshifts very smoothly. It's a type of vehicle that you don't know what gear you're in, and that's how nice of a job it does. The suspension is very smooth, it's compliant. Honda does a terrific job with suspensions, even on their motorcycles. Just a very, very nice setup from Honda. Coming to the interior of the car, one nice thing from Honda that was not found on a lot of 2003 vehicles is the fact that the gauge cluster is lit up by LED lights. So it's very crisp, you know exactly what's going on regarding speed, temperature, your fuel, and so forth. So kudos to Honda for giving you a nice LED layout. The radio is AM, FM, CD, of course. You do not have Bluetooth, unfortunately. You can get an aftermarket Bluetooth kit that's made specifically for the Honda Accord. However, it's not inexpensive. My recommendation is if you do want Bluetooth, you can get one of these devices that clip onto the sun visor, and then you have Bluetooth connectivity in that sense. But other than that, it's a fine radio. It's a very comfortable car. You could drive long distance, no problem. Now one downside regarding the seats is that it does not have lumbar support. Now again, this is the LX model. The EX model most likely has lumbar, but for an LX model, we don't have that lumbar support, which is perfectly fine in my case, but I know many of you do like to have that lumbar handle to give you a little bit extra support in your lower back. And another downside for the Honda, again for this LX model, is that in the rear we have drum brakes instead of your disc and rotor setup. So the brakes are a tad touchy. You know, you have to be very gentle on the brakes, otherwise you'll stop the car very, very quickly. Other than that, it's really a terrific vehicle. The insurance rates are very good on them. Depreciation is excellent. Highly reliable. Again, going to that VTEC, now having a timing chain as opposed to a belt. I tell you, if you're looking for a used vehicle just to get from point A to point B, this is a wonderful vehicle. Just keep an eye on the wheel wells. Honda's notorious that they'll start to rust up, even if the car's garage. Just rust just starts to get up on the wheel well. So you just want to keep an eye on that. Oil change just once a year on the Honda, which is a really nice feature. So really just a terrific vehicle all around for the Honda. Again, downside, the drum brakes in the rear. You don't have Bluetooth, but you know what, so what? You can get one of these for, I don't know what they go for, maybe $6,000 or $7,000. But you have a very, very well-built car that will last a lifetime. Really, the body will probably rust up before anything happens to the motor or the transmission. And in a moment, we'll just jump on the highway. Honda does a terrific job of making a very good point in what you look for. Now, jumping on the highway here, very nicely accelerated. We're already at 60 miles an hour. We're turning around 2,000 RPMs, and as you can see, there's no drama. You can comfortably get from point A to point B, and I think many of you will be pleasantly surprised if you've never driven a Honda Accord, especially again, this is a 12-year-old vehicle. the fit and finish is superb. It's very good. I'm actually very surprised on how comfortable and quiet. That's probably the number one thing that points out for me on this vehicle. It's so quiet, and I wasn't expecting that. And getting off the highway here, you'll just see how nicely it turns. It's a little light, the steering. I would like a little bit more feedback. And these are new tires, so it's not the tires. We're running Michelin tires here, but it's a little light. I grew up with a heavier type of steering that you feel more road and more feedback. But I mean, it won't stop me from buying the car, let me put it that way. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As you can tell, it's getting dark out. We just had daylight saving times here. It's 4:30 and it's getting dark out. That's the downside with the winter, unfortunately. But that being said, we will have more videos shortly. We will have an Impreza shortly right after this, and then we're going to shoot up to newer vehicles, 2015, 2016 vehicles, because I know a lot of you are interested in that. And of course, we'll keep with the maintenance videos as well, because we do seem to help a lot of people out there saving money, and we're happy to do it. So until then, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.